What's up, y'all? I'm DeMarcus Beasley, and you're listening to The Peel.
Welcome back to another edition of The Peel.
Yes, and a little bit of mixed feelings here.
Mixed feelings?
2 losses and then a win, so. And then a 2-week break.
Yeah, and then a 2-week break.
Yeah, so, I mean, a little bit of mixed feelings, but a good win. Another good home solid win.
Yeah, yeah.
We won't dive too much into the losses tonight. We'll dive more into the win. But we do have to talk about the losses a little bit, because, yeah, we kind of sucked a little bit. So we lost our home streak. Granted, it wasn't regular season play, but,
no.
You know, so. But yes, I am host Josh.
Justin.
So, and like you said, this is another edition of The Peel.
Yep.
It's kind of a lounge session today. You know,
yeah, we decided to just do it from my place because, you know, the whole schedule is weird.
It's been a long week, man.
Yeah,
it's been a very long week with 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to y'all.
Yeah.
Happy late 4th. You know, and it's good to be back. I know that we usually do our shows Tuesday nights, but, you know, obviously with the 4th, had to reschedule that. And then the Dynamo game yesterday, you know, we were at that game. And what was that?
I have no idea.
That sounds pretty cool, though. You need to use that in a sound effect, you know, to get people's attention during the show.
Yeah.
So, we appreciate you. What are you doing?
I know exactly what that is. Yeah. In case you didn't know from last week, I found out that I can change our voices on this mixer, and it's kind of funny.
No, but we do have a lot to cover. You know, like we said, we're going to cover about 3 games today. We're going to talk a little bit about the U.S. Open Cup. Happened about a week and a half ago.
Last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday,
yes.
yeah. So last week. Then a quick turnaround, went to Colorado, lost that one. Then we'll go into the game that happened yesterday. We want to talk, give you guys some scores around the league. Talk about league standing, obviously. Then the rumors about Tomas Martinez. We'll have our friend Sean Regros call in for that one.
Speaking of Open Cup, give me 1 second, guys.
Oh yeah, I know. I should have grabbed it for you. I should have grabbed it for you. I was thinking about it too. No, he's got something pretty cool here that he's gonna bring over here. But yeah, we're gonna obviously we'll go into the Houston Hoedown. If we can get a hold of Carson, we'll go ahead and do our Down in the Valley, and then Gold Cup break and schedule for that, and then we'll probably be gone for a little bit. So,
yeah, I think we're gonna end up taking a week off.
Yeah.
Unless something major happens with the Dynamo, which we already know about what the rumors
yeah, we
are.
already know. You know, the transfer window opens. Summer transfer window opens in 4 days. So there's gonna be a lot of moves happening here. You know, I see a lot of stuff going on in EPL right now. You know, Man United getting Lukaku. Yeah, going after him. Yeah, there's been a lot of crazy trades out there. So
yeah,
you know, it's exciting to see what MLS is gonna do. So show them what you got, man.
Yeah. So I did my first ever scarf trade this week, and there was a guy from Cincinnati who came and took in the Dynamo action, and we traded and got the Cincinnati FC scarf, which since the Dynamo aren't in it, I am pulling for them hardcore because I think they'd have a lot to offer MLS. You know, I'm excited about it, honestly.
Yeah, that was awesome, actually. You know, I know that you guys came and sat down in our section at the game last night, and you know, he was wearing his version of the bomb pop. Had a little bit of orange added to it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's like a Dynamo version of the United States jersey.
Yeah,
I kind of dig it.
Nike screws over all these younger clubs with.
No, it's a cool looking jersey.
Yeah, and that's about it. I'll show them the Birdman. I don't have the poster.
I did not bring it. I didn't bring it. No. Yeah, Edson. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, we did go to that U.S. Open Cup game, and Justin and I ended up getting Eric Bird's autograph on that that pretty cool picture that you made. So we gave him a copy, and then we had him sign one.
Also, Edson, congratulations, hopefully, on the job. We did see your tweet, or actually on Facebook. I had him on Facebook. So 290 area, if I saw correctly, that sucks. 290 is the worst street in Houston.
Hey, man, he's in Houston. That's all that matters, though.
This is true.
That's all that matters. Congratulations, Edson. That's awesome. So
that means now you have to get Dynamo season tickets.
Yeah, we'll see you at more Dynamo games for sure. So, absolutely.
Let's dive right into this match. Well, first we'll start off with the Open Cup. It was it was kind of a rookie lineup. There was a lot of younger guys. There was a lot of RGV guys. For us, we have Vicente Sanchez, Joe Willis-Net, Kevin Garcia, Jaleel Anibaba, Taylor Hunter, Dylan Remick, who played his balls out. Charlie Ward, which was nice.
The
Eric
newly
Bird,
signed Dynamo player. Yes.
Andrew Wenger, Alex, and Memo Rodriguez. SKC kind of had the same lineup. They're probably going to end up marching out this week during the Gold Cup, too, with some of their players getting called up.
Yeah.
And Beasler's out, correct? He's injured.
No, Beasler's in the Gold
he
Cup.
did get
Yeah,
called, yeah.
Beasler, Graham Zuzi,
And
and
Dom
Dom Dwyer. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Getting the call up there for them. So, Benny Feilhaber, though. Benny Feilhaber hasn't been playing that well for them this season, though, I've noticed. He's a former MVP, and he hasn't shown up that well. So
No.
And I just got confirmation we will have Carson on the show towards the end. I told him that we'll call him. So.
It was really not that good of a match by the Dynamo. We did own possession, but yet again, it falls into the same argument I've been making all year. When we win possession, we lose the match, and that showed it. It was 50. We could say 55 to 45 possession,
Well,
and
it kind of goes towards a lot of these teams will kind of score early-ish on us, and they'll just tuck back and defend because they figured out the Dynamo.
yeah.
Granted, this is U.S. Open Cup, okay?
Yes,
I don't want to take anything away from those guys, and I know that a lot of people did not take this tournament seriously as far as, our team and stuff, or they're saying that, but I am okay with the roster that he was playing because it gives these younger talents, the RGV kids, a chance to prove themselves. We got Charlie Ward out of this.
Henry Fleming said Feilhaber's a dick.
He is. He is. I've met him before, and he is.
Could you say that this was used as Cabrera for long-term scouting? Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely was.
And be prepared because we probably will see more of that in the future.
Yes.
Okay, for tournaments like this, you'll probably see a lot of it preseason. This is probably the way that the Dynamo will do scouting and seeing how they fit into their lineup.
Yeah.
I was okay with it, and you got to look at the team that they played with. Aiko Para, arguably Defender of the Year.
Yeah.
Scores the opening goal.
Also, as we speak, a little bit of the Houston Hoedown real quick. It's only because I got the tweet. Houston FC is playing as we talk right now. So let's hope they can pull out a win.
I know you're. And by the way, he is repping the Union tonight.
I am. They're playing SKC, so it kind of has a dual purpose tonight because we need SKC to lose on the Dynamo.
Yeah, we do.
End.
Yeah, so I'm a
Union
big
definitely needs some points.
As much crap as I give him, I'm a big Union fan tonight. So go Union. They're on
Plus,
the road.
This shirt is kind of badass. I got it from Mitchell and Ness back home. It's the Sons of Ben logo with the Union logo.
So I know that the Union are on a streak right now.
Yes.
They just who'd they play last? DC, right? Was
Yeah.
it DC?
No.
Was it who'd they play last? They decimated. It was DC.
Yeah.
3-0. 3-0. They decimated them. So so they're surging right now, and they're gonna have to go on the road and play kind of against a depleted SKC team right now. Without Beasler, Graham Zuzi, and Dom Dwyer.
Yes.
We
will give you updates. That match kicks off 7:30 our time.
Yes.
So we'll give you some updates as that goes along. But look, I'm not. I don't remember if I hounded on it, but the U.S. Open Cup needs to be taken seriously because you have a team like FC Cincinnati that sells out in the USL side. Miami FC is pulling in a decent crowd, which that matchup's going to be really good.
But let's be honest though, we didn't have a decent. Okay, U.S. Open Cup. We only hosted one game. It was at 5:30 on a Wednesday.
Well,
me thinks if it was maybe on like a Thursday, Friday night, or maybe even just a later time slot, the stadium would have been more crowded. Okay, the game Wednesday last night, that was a fuller stadium.
It was
much more fuller stadium than I expected.
I still think though, as a whole, I don't think the Dynamo organization takes it too seriously.
I wouldn't say that though. You can't really say that though because it's kind of like it's letting these younger guys get their playing time. getting the Eric Bird and getting the Charlie Wards and
Yes.
Memo Rodriguez, giving them some playing time with the Dynamo. I thought it was great, It's unfortunate because, yeah, it's a trophy we've never won, but if it helps you complete a full roster for your actual MLS squad, that's okay. That's okay in my books. Just like Bruce Arena's taking the Gold Cup right now. Okay, it's gravy if we win it. That's awesome. That's not his goal, though. His goal is to finish his World Cup squad.
Yeah.
His 23-man roster next year. And he's even said if we lose the Gold Cup, but I finish my 23-man roster, that's a win for me. And I agree with him.
Well, with that loss, though, the Dynamo are out. It was a 2-0 loss. You had Ike Bike Apara scoring, doing what he does, and he's a defender, which is scary.
Best center back in the league right now.
But that pins them up against Dallas this Tuesday coming up. San Jose will be hosting LA on the 10th. No, excuse me. Yes, I was right. Then Miami FC and Cincinnati FC. Cincinnati FC has to travel down to Miami. And let me tell you, I am actually extremely hype about that match.
It should be good. I mean, one of these two teams has a good chance to win the U.S.
They
Open
haven't
Cup.
announced if it's been picked up yet, or at least I'm not sure. But I could almost guarantee you this game's going to be picked up by ESPN.
It should. It really should. I mean, after the FC Cincinnati game versus Chicago Fire, they took them with a full squad minus Dax McCarty. That's it. They took them to penalties.
Oh, my God.
FC Cincinnati could have put that game away earlier, by the way, too.
The guy that came down from Cincinnati, he was here for business, and he brought up a good point. That's the first goal he's given up to Schweinsteiger in all of the Open Cup. He's given up one goal in all the Open Cup.
Wow.
So, and it was the Schweinsteiger. You can't really be all that upset. And then we got New England hosting New York Red Bulls.
You skipped FC Dallas.
No, I've already. We were talking about that.
FC Dallas. Yeah.
That will be on Wednesday, and then Thursday will be the New England Revolution and New York Red Bulls match. That will close out the Open Cup talk till next week, which we're not going to have a show, but I'll probably end up giving an update that Tuesday and Wednesday, just real quick on Facebook Live. My money's on Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I honestly do. Out of the teams that are left right now in the Open Cup,
I mean,
Cincinnati, I think, is the strongest team.
You want to talk about a fairy tale? You want to talk about I mean, they could be the Leicester City of MLS. I mean, think about it. A USL side winning the U.S. Open Cup, which hasn't been done since. I don't know. I mean, it's been. I know that there's been teams that besides MLS that have not since like decades ago though. It's been MLS teams ever since, but it is mute. Okay, I don't know.
No, that's on my end. It's so we can't hear ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you really want to hear yourself talk?
No. I love hearing myself talk.
No, it was his fault.
That's why we have a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because typically we just listen to ourselves talk.
We will move into some more negative news against Colorado heading into Colorado.
As much as I want to dive really deep into this match, it pains me to really talk about it because we looked like absolute garbage. And I keep saying it, you keep talking about these road wins or these road draws and losses, and one keeps piling on top of the other. But I honestly think this might have been the worst we've looked all year.
Against one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the league.
And I tweeted out today, Colorado actually has a extremely good home record.
Not anymore. They just got beat by Seattle. Clint Dempsey did some work on them. I'm just saying we should have been able to walk out with a win. I truly felt that we were the better
Colorado
team.
At home.
Besides the first 35 minutes of the game, the entire rest of the game, I felt that we were the better team.
Colorado
they just got us on the counterattack.
Is 6-4-1 as of this week.
I still think that we could have beaten them. I mean, not taking anything away from them. I just still think that we were the better team. I think we had more chances. If it was against any other goalkeeper, Tim Howard was amazing. He got a save of the week out of that game. Stopping Andrew Wenger.
Yep.
Off his header. And keeping Kuba at bay. I mean, besides the one.
What though? Kuba looked like garbage that game.
He scored a goal.
He still, other than the goal, he did not look all that strong.
I just felt, I mean, like our attack is just awful right now. You know, with that game, it was awful. But you know, they kept getting us on the counterattack, and it just seemed like our team. I mean, they pushed forward so much, and they just couldn't keep it. They just couldn't keep it together. So it was frustrating, man. You know, it sucks. It sucks that we lost that game. I felt that was 3 points that they let slip. At least 1 point.
And it killed us in the standings. It dropped us from what, 2nd to 5th.
Yes, it did. Yeah. That did hurt us, because if you would have thought about it, you know, we would have won that game, then we would have won last night, and we'd be back in first place.
Yeah.
In our conference, you know, so that's definitely kind of heartbreaking to think about it like that, but it's the truth. You know, I mean, we got two road games coming up, and it's like you give up points like that, man. You know,
how long can we go though with us not getting these results on the road? You can't. If so, you're going to be the 8th. You're going to be the last seed.
Yeah, you can't keep going. You can't keep going and losing all these games. You know, I mean, the goal is to make playoffs. Obviously, you know, and that's it. You know, make playoffs, but you need to have some kind of home field advantage, obviously, during the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you go in the bottom 4 teams in each conference play wild card games, you need to host that.
Yeah.
If you can't win on the road, you need to be the one hosting those games.
So to kind of add a little bit of a silver lining, maybe I'm kind of being a half glass or glass half full kind of deal. We aren't the worst team on the road, but we're tied. So. Colorado on the roads 0-7-0, Minnesota on the roads 0-7-2, and then the worst team is the best of the road teams in the bottom of that is New England with 0-7-3. So they're at least getting draws on the road.
They have 1 draw over us, 1 point. So you know, I mean, it's scrape together some wins.
Yeah.
You know, finish your chances. It's just like these guys say. You know, I mean. There's so many chances at home that they miss. You know, I mean, these games at home, yeah, we just beat up on Montreal 3-1. It could have been 5-1. It could have been 6-1. Those chances.
I'm gonna dive into Cuba a little bit after the Montreal.
Those chances that they miss, though, you know, those are slim chances they get on the road, and they can't finish them.
Yeah,
it's just they lack that killer instinct. And I don't know what it's going to take for them, you know, to get it together, you know. And it's going to be, hell, it's going to feel good when they get their first road win. We are not going to go this entire season without a road win. I mean, it just I can't see it happening. Got to at least get one, you know. But the team, on the other hand, is completely different at home. I mean, they are an amazing team at home. They control it. They play their game.
Yeah.
They play the exact game that they want to play.
But to get to closing out the Colorado match, because I don't want to stay on it.
Yeah, no.
It was a 3-1 loss Saturday night. You had AJD, Machado, DNB, Leonardo, Boniak, Cabezas, Clark, Wenger, Torres, Minotas all starting. Dylan Remick didn't get any minutes. Joseph Holland played a few. He got subbed on to last. He got a minute. Memo Rodriguez didn't play. Vicente Sanchez played a total of 12 with Joe Willis on.
And then Alex coming off the bench playing 25 minutes,
Joe Willis ended up starting because Tyler Derrick ended up getting food poisoning at the last minute, and he was the last minute.
And that game still could have gone a little bit different. I think you know, as much as I'm a big Joe Willis fan, man, I it's obvious who our starting goalkeeper is after that game. Yeah. You know, because Joe Willis, I mean, he gave up a couple goals. I mean, coming off his line for the second goal was just. I mean, it was just poor. I mean, yeah, it was poor defending, but dude, don't come off your line. You would still have a chance.
To kind of talk about the Kubo narrative, okay? We had a total of 13 shots on goal, 7 on target. Let me rephrase that: 13 shots total, 7 on target. Kubo had 2 shots, 1 goal, 2 shots on goal. Another one of those stories where we were talking about this when we were rewatching the Montreal match. You had the goal from Memo Rodriguez yesterday where he got possession of the ball, settled it, thought about his shot, and took it. Kubo has not done that, and it showed in the Montreal match. He needs to get to this point where he settles the ball and thinks about his shot instead of just firing it away. How many shots did he sail yesterday? I mean, we'll get into that when we actually dive into the Montreal match, but it's been an issue all year.
I mean, it has, I mean, it's not just him, though.
Well,
it's not. I mean,
honest.
like, Morrow, 3 shots.
Well, yeah, Morrow
2
was doing
shots
the same
on
thing.
goal,
Yeah.
0 goals.
Yep.
Andrew Winger, 2 shots on goal.
Yep.
0 goals. Cabezas, who, like, honestly had an amazing shot way outside the box. It was, like, 18 yards outside the box, and I want to see more of that, by the way, from him, because obviously he can play a good midfielder role for that position. And,
yeah.
I mean, Tim Howard having to leap for that one, that took an amazing goal. But I want to go down real fast because 10 corners.
10 to none.
10 corners. And this is kind of like the team that we play as at home, that we played against in Colorado. They got us on the counterattacks. So, yeah, we can get up it here.
But real quick, Kevin Doyle scoring in the 21st minute. Kubo scoring with the assist from AJD and added time at the half. You had Marlon Harrison scoring twice, once in the 48th minute and again in the 69th minute. Surprisingly, we were clean when it came to the disciplinary stuff. But again, we held possession. We owned possession, and we lost the match.
It's just these teams just tuck back and defend afterwards, which ended up killing us because they got us on it. So, but let's get some brighter news here.
Yes.
We actually got 3 points last night, so this is a plus for us because it vaults us back into a third place position now. We still have a game in hand on Kansas City after they play tonight. Hopefully, Philadelphia Union can at least hold them to a draw and prevent them getting even further. But I mean, we're gonna need some help. We're definitely gonna need some help now. Because like I said, we could have been looking at 31 points last night.
If you weren't aware, the Dynamo did play last night. They took on the Montreal Impact, and what a game! Andrew Wenger proves that you need to make sure you get to the stadium before kickoff. Because it didn't take long. It took all of 52 seconds for him to get his first one. And that's actually the first one of the season, which is kind of shocking.
Tim Howard denied him the same exact goal last week.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If it was against a different goalkeeper,
But
Evan Bush couldn't stop that one.
The way that whole sequence played out in a matter of 52 seconds was amazing.
Can I point out too that Alex was starting at this point too? Because I mean, yeah, it was a short pass from Alex, but Alex started that play somewhat, from Morrow. Morrow got a beautiful cross in. Yeah. He got a great assist. Put that ball on a platter for Andrew Winger, man, and Andrew Winger doing what he just does best, just taking an extra step forward. Kubo pulling a defender back inside the box, getting a good header. So first minute of play, that was awesome. Yeah, that was awesome.
It was. I mean, we had to go back and watch that goal a few times because it was pretty. That goal and then the one Memo scored, which we'll get to here in a second.
Absolutely.
But one thing that was kind of funny was right before the half, if you looked at the stats, Montreal had 0 shots on goal. 0.
Well, I mean, we were holding them back, I mean, we were playing our ball, our game.
But look, I keep bringing up possession in all these matches. But look, we lose possession and we win the match.
We're not a possession-based team.
Not at all.
We're a team that strives on that counter, that strives on that momentum and energy. And it just seems like they can only do it inside BBVA. Yeah. It's like they can't do it outside it. So, I mean, it's frustrating, but it's still good at the same time. Alex getting his second goal of the year. Yeah. And doing the same exact thing. Cutting inside, left-footed ball inside the net and from outside the box. I mean, it was beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, and it's frustrating because we keep hearing about the rumors of Liga MX teams. And I hope it's not true, but because it goes back to building depth. But Alex kind of turned that team around a little bit yesterday.
And we'll get into the new move here in about 20 minutes. But excuse me, guys. We did have Andrew Wenger scoring in the, it says the first minute, but it was 57th second.
Which is first minute of
yeah,
play.
I know. Alex scored in the 23rd minute with another assist from Mara. Mara had 2 assists on the night. Memo Rodriguez, who was subbed on for Kubo in the 63rd minute, scored early. And that shot, that I don't know if it made goal of the week, or at least in the nominations for goal of the week, but it was beautiful. And then the one lapse in defense that the Dynamo had all night with Michael Salazar in that goal that he scored. Cabezas was kind of playing out of position, was not covering where he needed to be, and kind of left DMB out there on his own and gave up the goal to him in the 89th minute. It was kind of one of those consolation goals.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was. I mean, it was also a good goal. He scored it off the volley, you know. And
Yeah.
Lawrence Samant with a great assist too. You know, he put the ball perfect for Michael Salazar. You know, which I ended up hating that entire game too, just because he ended up getting a yellow card 4 minutes into the game. Yeah, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog and taking some notes from Giassi Zardes apparently.
Yeah.
They had the same hairstylist. So.
But it was a 3-1 win for the Dynamo. What else you got?
I mean, that's it. No, I mean, it was a beatdown. It was a beatdown. I wish that we would have gotten the shutout, but, you know, that hasn't gone our way too much this year.
No.
So.
And Tyler Derrick had a decent game. Then again, he really didn't have much that he really needed to do that match. You know,
He only had one save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He only had to face off against 12 total shots, 2 that were on target.
I mean, it's like our center backs are playing well, though. Again, they don't play well on the road. They play well at home. And, I mean, they were doing really well. And Leonardo was awesome.
That does, like Josh said, put us back in the third place with 28 points. 19 matches played, 8 wins, 7 losses, 4 draws. 8-0-2 at home.
So continue that undefeated home streak, you know, and you'll ride into playoffs, and it's kind of a perfectly built playoff team because you think about it, you know, lower seed hosts the first leg, and score a lot of goals at home, and then go defend on the road. We don't give up that many on the road. No, we really don't. There's only been a few.
We don't like get blown out on the road once.
No, we don't. So. I mean, that could potentially help us, you know. But if you talk about making I mean, I know I don't want to go into like MLS Cup, but if you think about going into an MLS Cup and you don't host it, but this is the results you produce on the road, you're gonna get annihilated. So,
you know, it was going to Joe Holland real quick. He's only played a total of 16 minutes, but he looked really good the little bit of time that he did get yesterday. I like the potential that he has. I think that he will play extremely well in the future, and I hope the Dynamo hold on to him. And we'll see how this all fits in with the rumor / not rumor / deal, not official deal with Tomas Martinez.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if you look at all of our subs too, all of these guys, RGB players, pretty much getting the sub. And
and Memo Rodriguez finally scoring for us, and I'm excited about what the future holds for him.
Well, I also like Jose Escalante and Memo Rodriguez on the pitch at the same time. I think they know each other really well from playing with RGV. I like the way these guys linked up, you know, and kind of going back to U.S. Open Cup a little bit, watching these two kids play with each other. They know each other. They have great chemistry with each other. So I could see them linking up a lot more, and especially with Joe Holland as well. So a lot of good young talent.
But that's pretty much going to do it for this match. We do have a little bit of a break. We will take on DC United, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. No, I'm sorry. No, Minnesota. Yeah, we travel to Minnesota first, and then we'll go to DC.
Yeah, we'll have a show prior to that.
Yeah, so we won't host a game here till the end of July. And I think. Yeah, I think like July 29th is what somebody told me. I don't know. I gotta look at it again. But yeah, I mean, I hate these long breaks, man. But it gives our guys time to rest, you know, and it's a lot of international breaks, obviously for the Gold Cup. So, you know, we'll shift our attention over to USA Yeah, we pick up play again July 19th on Wednesday
Yeah.
in Minnesota. Then that Saturday, we'll head off to DC United, and the following Saturday, the 29th, we'll host Portland Timbers.
But to go over the action for this week, we had Atlanta United taking on San Jose in Atlanta, taking 3 points away from them, 4-2. Atlanta's finding their stride again. Joseph Martinez is back, and I've read somewhere that they're, out of all the teams this year, they're one of the ones to be worried about in the East.
There's a lot of teams to be worried about in the East right now. Chicago and Toronto are just
talking about the article I read.
Oh, I'm just saying, yeah, there's a lot of teams to be worried about in
Yeah.
the East. The East is not the same East that it
No.
used to be. Minnesota drawing a blank against Columbus. Columbus beat them 1-0 in Minnesota.
FC
So that gives us a little hope.
Yep.
Heading to Minnesota, maybe.
And of course, DC United with their horrible road record took on Dallas, losing 4-2. Good.
Yeah, Seattle beating Colorado in Colorado 3-1. Clint Dempsey with a brace, scoring himself 2.
And then can we talk about the joke that was RSL and LA? In LA, RSL coming out of nowhere, and they've been horrible this year, destroying LA at home 6-2.
Makes no sense.
Kyle Beckerman with a goal.
What is going on with this season? I mean, like the amount of goals that are scored. You know, like at first it was Minnesota, then it was RSL, and now it's going to be LA Galaxy giving up that many goals. You know, it's just. I'm happy to be in the same conference with these teams.
Yeah,
I'm happy to be in the same conference. That's all I got to say. They should all be easy 3 points.
Real quick, in the 22nd or 21st minute, Houston FC has scored. Josh Bronstop got the shot from Sanchez. So, a little bit of live Houston hoedown action going on right now.
Very nice, very nice. And I know your union's kicking off now, right?
Yes, actually they are.
Perfect.
So.
Yeah, and then so that was from this past weekend. Yeah, we still got more games to cover here. Yeah. New York Red Bulls beating New England Revolution 3-2.
And then Toronto doing what they do, whether it's on the road or at home, took 3 points away from Orlando at home, winning 3-1.
And then obviously us 3-1. Yep. Vancouver and New York City also won. Vancouver won that game 3-2.
Portland taking on Chicago and drawing 2-2 in Portland. That's big.
That's big for us. Yeah, we needed that. Absolutely. Yeah.
And then the last match of the week, this week, SKC taking on the Union. They are kicking off now. Let me bring this up. I'm not going to watch the match because I don't want to kill my bandwidth. So.
Yeah, both of these teams are kind of depleted right now. You know, the Union still do have Chris Pontius, who will be called up tomorrow. Obviously.
Yes.
You know, and then Sporting Kansas being without, you know, their three main stars there. Yeah. Alejandro Verdoya also being called up for the Union, so he will miss out on this game. So both teams kind of being depleted a little bit. So not too much to read on that. Just hopefully the Union can win. Yeah. I don't know. So, or I mean, at least blank them at home. Yeah. I'll take a draw out of that and.
So let's dive into the news that has been floating around here for about a week now. It has yet to be confirmed by the Dynamo, but all sources around the world are pointing to the fact that we've signed a number 10, or at least what they're saying might be a true number 10, in Tomas Martinez. There's some good and bad surrounding him. This kid's young. He's 22 years old. They're saying he will be available if it's official. What I see the 9th, I think. He'll be official for the club, which is nice.
So it's good. So our next 2 road games,
yes,
you know, he'll be available for us. He won't get the start right away, obviously. No. He's young. He's gonna probably most likely be a young DP.
Right there. 19th, excuse me. He'll be available to join the team on the 19th, and this is according to Lester Gresh. And it's been announced over in Portugal by their papers that we've signed him. He comes from Braga. Is it Braga?
I thought it was Praga.
Braga? Probably Braga.
Praga, yeah,
SC Braga.
Yeah, FC Praga.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
He is an
Portugal team.
Argentine. He's played on the national squad for them. He
U20,
was listed.
the U20
Yes.
national squad.
He has been listed as their B team for Braga. Okay, make sure I was saying that right. He originally played for River Plate and was transferred out there. What's odd is the Braga coach has said that he doesn't fit their formation, which is kind of odd. You don't get rid of a player just because he doesn't fit your formation if he's good. So that kind of raises a little bit of a red flag. At the age of 16, he did draw interest from Arsenal and FC Barcelona. So, I mean, if you're that good and you drew interest at 16, I can't say that you've lost too much.
Yeah. I mean, who knows, man? It's just depending on how they fit.
Oh, and you're wrong, by the way.
Into the system. What's that?
He did play for the senior squad in the Copa America. He got subbed on for Mauro Diaz.
I didn't even know Mauro Diaz played for Argentina senior squad. So, okay. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
He was photographed on Wednesday afternoon eating lunch with Matt Jordan. Rumor was he was out in Pearland.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's kind of a set-in-stone deal, It's just waiting on them to announce it now.
Which makes me wonder. I wonder if he was at the match yesterday. Sitting up in one of the boxes.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and call Sean. Let's call our inside guy, man.
Yeah. I'll just call him off my phone.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot easier.
You got his number? I got his number.
Yeah, I got it saved.
Whatever.
We're besties.
We're besties, bro. I'd hope you'd have his number saved. He's only going to be like our newest member.
Sorry for the ringing.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
man?
Sean. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're all right.
Good. We are on the air right now. We got we are calling Sean Ringrose. He is kind of the newest member of the Peel.
Yes.
We have not officially had him on the show to start our new venture together, but we will do that sometime in August.
Yep.
So, but thanks for having us. I'll let you call you, man. We're diving into the conversation of Tomas Martinez, excuse me. Tomas,
man. Get it right.
Yeah. They didn't put an H. in
It's
there
just
for
like
a
how
reason.
Sean had to teach me how to say Kyoto's name.
Yeah, I mean, at least we're not calling Sean Scene.
That would be pretty bad. I would be sad if you did that. But as a side note, first of all, how great was that win yesterday?
It was great. It was a solid win. It
was a much needed win.
Yes.
A very much needed win. I mean, 2 more road games before when we come back, and it's just like we know how these breaks go, and then when we come back from a break and we go on the road, obviously, these guys are depleted.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I mean, Gold Cup call-ups, and they come home and they do that. So you have to appreciate that sort of effort and that sort of game out of the team.
So
even against the Montreal.
Yeah. So real fast, because we were reading some of the MLS predictions on like the Gold Cup and stuff, and I want to say it was it was
like 2 writers that said Kubo.
Yeah, one of them said Kubo, and the other said Albert Elise would be your top goal scorer in the Gold Cup, and then USA is going to win it. Which I'm okay with Albert Elise or Kubo being your top goal scorer and USA winning the Gold Cup. I think that would be fantastic. It would definitely build confidence for these guys coming back, especially Albert Elise. Do I see it happening? Probably not. But it is. It is nice.
I'm guessing the guys that they asked are all MLS guys, right?
What was that?
I mean, the people that they asked that question to, gave answers, they were all MLS people, right?
Hey, Sean, we have a really bad connection. Let me call you through Skype, see if that helps.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
That was awful.
Yeah. Working on fixing that.
Yeah, so I know that. And then Matt Doyle, I hate Matt Doyle so much because he hates on the Dynamo, and he just, I don't know, he predicted Canada to win the Gold Cup.
Yeah,
Why?
that makes no sense.
They don't even have Kyle Larin.
Yeah.
I don't know what Canadian you think is going to be like demolishing in the Gold Cup. He predicted, I can't remember the Canadian player's name, but he predicted that the Canadian team was going to win it, and a Canadian is going to be the top goal scorer. So we are currently getting our other hosts back on the.
How's the connection now?
That's 100 times better. We need to just keep using Skype. So perfect. But no,
I was saying what I was asking you was the guys that filled out that or wrote that up. The people that they asked that question to, they're all MLS people, aren't they?
Correct. They're MLS analysis, and we know how biased they are towards certain teams.
Yeah, there's exactly I just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh, absolutely, no,
because you're exactly right.
Right before you came back on, I was talking about how Matt Doyle had chose Canada to win the Gold Cup, and then he picked the Canadian striker to lead in the scoring, and I think Matt Doyle is full of it, and that his power rankings
is about as low as Honduras winning it.
I saw they had like a 17% chance of it, so it's let's be real, it's going to come down to USA and Mexico, and that's going to be the tightest game in the final.
Yeah.
So
let's see.
I will say this real quick while we're still on the Gold Cup, that you never know. There are times when soccer makes us all look like fools, and the unexpected happens. Thank you, Leicester City, for proving that.
Yeah, and Jamaica in the last
we all know that the reality of the situation is that Honduras doesn't have a defense. Panama doesn't have an offense. So, when we start whittling down teams, it's very clear.
Simon Borg. Simon Borg was the one. I love Simon Borg, though, because he's the one who picked USA to win it, and he picked Albert Elise scoring the most goals. So that's pretty cool.
I do. Now, there is a dark horse in this, and I kind of agree with it. If you look at the teams that these other countries have brought, most of them are like their A- or B squads, okay? Costa Rica is the only one that brought their A squad. Do not be surprised if they get deep into the knockout stage.
And that is the one team that I'm not sleeping on, and that's why I said, anything can happen. There are teams that anything can happen. I think they make that run at the very least to the semis.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's possible that they could surprise a team or two, and that's all it takes to get into the final in the Gold Cup. And like you said, don't sleep on Costa Rica, that's for sure.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree with that. We've seen Costa Rica do some work against us. They don't play easy against us, especially when they play in USA, obviously the Snow Classico, excuse me. Yeah.
Now, there is a chance, if I remember correctly on how the breakdown goes, that we could possibly play them in say Costa Rica moves on, we could, I think, play them in Dallas.
That would be awesome.
But who do you see winning Group A? Because let's face it, I don't see Canada making it. They don't have Kyle Larin. French or Ghana, whatever it is, country that has a population of like 11, and they're all playing.
But let's break this down here, okay? So you got Costa Rica, Honduras, Canada, and French Guiana, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and scratch out French Guiana. I think the only player that's notable is a player from Chelsea, and I can't even remember his name. That's how important he is. And then, the three groups, out of the three groups, the third seed in those groups, two of them qualify for the next round.
Yes.
So Canada still has that chance to get it out of this round. They'll probably need a little bit of help. Especially with, look at all these other teams, though, that are in it.
Yeah, their toughest competition is going to end up being Jamaica as the third place.
Yeah.
And they're another one that I'm not saying are going to go anywhere, but I think out of we know who's going to finish third place type of teams, they're in that group as being the strongest third place team. They have probably one of the best keepers in this tournament. And I'm not just saying that because he plays for the Union.
No,
the guy's legit.
I don't hear any bias at all coming out of that statement. None whatsoever.
You can't say that you don't agree just slightly with that statement. The guy's good. Andre Blake might be top.
He's good, but
five
you just said
best
the
in the
best
league.
keeper. I don't know if I can agree with that.
Well, Ochoa's not going to be playing for Mexico.
Tim Howard won't be playing for USA.
Exactly.
It's going to be Guzan. It's definitely not going to be a U.S. keeper that's going to have the best time. It's going to be the Costa Rica goalkeeper because that Costa Rica defense scares me.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I'm just saying now it's going to be Costa Rica with the best defense throughout the entire tournament.
Who's your golden boot and who is your champion? Early prediction.
Oh man. You put me on the spot. That's not even right. I'm going U.S. I'm going U.S. only because I feel like the U.S. squad that they've got is better than the Mexico squad that's going.
I agree.
I do think it comes down to Mexico, U.S. in the final. I'd love to see it not be that. I'd love to see it be a Costa Rica in the final. As far as the Golden Boot winner, I don't think it's going to be anybody that anybody's expecting. I don't think it's Elise. I think Honduras is going to score a few goals, but I don't think they're going to score in bunches. I'm going to go dark horse right here, and I'm going to say, oh, man. I have to think of the forwards that were called into the U.S. Sorry.
While he's thinking
I'm like
on that.
you guys where you have all the information.
I know. Sorry. We called to talk about Tomas Martinez, but this is what happens when you get a bunch of guys. Expect more of this when he comes on the show, too, getting all off topic.
It's probably going to be worse.
And just go, it's probably going to be a lot worse. Our shows are going to drag out, and Christopher is probably going to be honest about it. So, but yeah,
we'll have a timer clock that we'll set up.
Yeah.
It'll tell us how long we've been talking.
Yeah, we'll move on. We'll move on.
But so Tomas Martinez, right? So number one, he's being brought in to be an attacking midfielder / central midfielder. Okay. He's not going to be anything other than that. Now, what does that mean? That means he can play as an attacking midfielder or a central midfielder. One of the things that's been discussed on Twitter, heavily on Twitter this week, is whether he can be a pivot player, where that distribution between the pivot between the back line and the forward and the midfield, higher up midfielders.
So
I don't know if he can do that. I think he's going to be more higher up on the pitch as a true attacking mid in that 10 role.
Yeah.
And I think what you get out of him, especially, and I said this to, I think it was Josh earlier in the week when it was kind of quote unquote confirmed. That you're getting a guy that his number one ability as far as distribution is through balls, which is the one thing that we sorely lack as a squad. And, we saw it last night, that distribution into the box, if we can get it, we have guys that can score it. And so, I think he's the right player right now that we absolutely need. And I think he's coming into the right situation. He's coming out of a situation in Portugal, playing for Braga, where he and the coach did not agree on where he was placed in the formation, and also the formation they were playing him in, which is a 4-4-2. We will not be playing him in a 4-4-2. That's pretty much a guarantee since they signed him. What does that mean? That means we're probably going to either stick with the 4-3-3. I think we might see maybe a 4-2-1-3 type of formation where we push Kyoto and Elise up high like we have done with Kubo up top and Morrow backing him up, and then you have Tomas underneath them, and then underneath him you have your two D mids, which will be probably initially Rico and Cabezas, but I have hopes that maybe we see Charlie Ward step in and replace Rico over time, because I think he can do that. Now, you'll notice that there's a player that I have not said, which is Alex.
Yeah,
that's an interesting situation.
Yeah.
So this is what I was
texting this is what we were wanting to talk about. Yeah, this with Alex.
With this move, okay, right now you're stacked in midfield. You got Boniak, you got Rico, you got Alex, you got Tomas Martinez, you got Charlie Ward, and you got Cabezas. One of these guys has to be the odd man out that is most likely going to end up being moved. And I personally feel like that's Alex. Buy low, sell high. And right now, his stock is high.
Go ahead.
No, again, that's pretty much it. His stock's high. I think you need to move.
I was just going to... I kind of agree with you to some extent on the buy low, sell high. I think we have to be careful how long we hold Alex, because right now his value's never been higher, and it probably never will be higher. When you bring in a Tomas Martinez to be your 10, if you put Alex in a 6 role as a D-mid, he's not going to get the same numbers with assists that he's getting right now. He's not going to score a bunch of goals like well, not a bunch, but he's not going to score goals like he's been doing for the last month and a half. Mm-hmm. So his value is going to decrease. It's just a guarantee. So at what point do you see the value decrease to the point that you have no choice but to sell him? The real question, though, is, okay, as Tomas Martinez coming in, what are you actually getting with Tomas? He's a young, unproven cam coming from a team where he only made 4 starts, but it's also a Portuguese club. So, whatever there. But he came up through the River Plate system. He was actually a backup for Mauro Diaz at one point. He is a talented player. He has a lot of talent, but he's very unproven, and he needs to come here and prove it. Now, there's another player that the Dynamo did the exact same thing with, and it took him a couple of years to really get, or a year and a half to really get into the system, and that was Mauro. Mauro was a young, unproven striker. Coming from a situation where he wasn't going out there and scoring tons of goals at his old club, and he came here, and it took him a while to get acclimated. Now, I think the difference between between Mauro when it happened and Tomas now is that we have a situation where Tomas is going to acclimate a lot faster because he has players around him that, A, speak the language, B, play his style, and C, a coach that understands how to get the most out of a player from that area, playing that style. We didn't have that until Wilmer came along.
Absolutely, and I truly feel confident enough in Wilmer, just from what he's done with our team alone in this season so far. I have a lot of confidence with him that he will get the best out of this player, like he has with Cubo Torres, and he has with Alex. This is arguably, and you know that Tomas has talent because he played for the U20 Argentinian team. You don't play for the U20 Argentinian team as an attacking midfielder unless you are very talented. It's just not happening. Argentina absolutely brings in attacking midfielders that are bar none some of the best in the world. So if that is the way that it is, he definitely had the talent. He's definitely very talented. He's still very young. He still has plenty of time to adapt. I just think we have to be careful to make sure to not rush him too fast into the fold and hurt his confidence. The one thing that a player absolutely has to have in MLS is confidence. Mm-hmm. You see it in a lot of players. You see it in goalkeepers. If they lose their confidence, they struggle mightily. You see it in strikers. If they lose their confidence, they don't play as well. Look at Bruin. He leaves the Dynamo, not a very confident player. He goes and plays in Seattle, becomes a confident player by playing with those players and that coach there and that organization, and now he's scoring goals. Mm-hmm. And he's doing a really good job. Even as a backup, he's doing a great job. So, confidence is a big deal. And right now, I don't think the kid has the right level of confidence to be a starter at this very moment. But I don't think it's going to take Wilmer long to pull that confidence out of him and get him comfortable into a situation where he can become our version of Mauro Diaz. Absolutely. And it's kind of like a double-edged sword almost, with the whole Alex and Tomas, because you want to get the most for Alex, like you just said, but you don't want to wait too long. But also, you don't want to ruin the rhythm of what you have right now with these players.
Exactly.
In my opinion, Alex is pulling the strings for these guys. This team plays better with Alex on the pitch. The same goes for at least in Kyoto, excluding last night. But we had Alex out there. And it just goes to the factor
and that's the question, right? If Tomas comes in and he's not going to start at a minimum, he will not be available for play until July 17th at a minimum. So that's 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you think about it. Okay, 2 weeks to acclimate to the system, 2 weeks to acclimate to what's going on, 2 weeks to acclimate to the players. Well, that's right as maybe if Honduras, doesn't advance, that's as Honduras comes back, that's as Kyoto and Elise come back. If they get a chance to kind of hang out with Tomas a little bit and grow, and Kubo comes back and, maybe that's 3-4 weeks down the road. But, if they all get a chance to gel, I'm telling you, Alex is going to be an afterthought.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And remember, I made the prediction on
yeah.
Kyoto being the guy to watch this season, and who's been right? Just got to throw out a little shameless plug there.
There's a reason why we're adding Sean onto our show here, because
he's actually the one that knows what he's talking about. He fake it.
Yeah, we don't know what the hell we're doing, so we lean on him a lot. So
now, Edson brings up a good point. Kind of almost like a question. Maybe have Tomas go down to RGV to get match fitness at first. Could you see that being a possibility?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. I think that's why Joe Holland was brought up beyond the Gold Cup and kept here, was so that Joe Holland can get those backup minutes, because we need an attacking midfielder. And by doing so, you have a player that plays kind of similar to Tomas in terms of the same position, the same style, just a creative midfielder up top, and who's going to want to play an attacking style and not necessarily a defending style.
So let me ask you this
bring
then.
Joe in, and you push him high up. Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
You push him high up, and you let him play, and so now, I hope they're not going to cross. Sorry, there's an ambulance outside.
It's all good.
So you push him high up, and you let him play there. And what happens is now your players around him are getting comfortable with that position and how it plays and how it will play when Tomas comes in and plays that same position. So, I think that's kind of how it goes. And I do think Tomas probably gets some time down in RGV just to get, fresh, to get comfortable. But at the same time, the Dynamo could totally throw us a curveball and start him right away. I don't know. He's been bought for, it's not a cheap, not a cheap transfer fee, $1.2 million.
Mm-hmm.
Not cheap. And I don't know what his salary is, but no matter what his salary is, at that level, he's a DP. He's probably a young DP because it's less of a cap hit, and he's only a half-season DP, which is even less as a young DP. So, that's helpful, but I could see a situation where maybe they bring him in as a sub early, or maybe even start him and then sub him off at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
I did think one of the most telling things last night that not a lot of people have talked about is that Vicente Sanchez did not make the bench.
You know what? Wow.
Didn't even cross my mind.
I didn't even think about that until just now.
So
I think Vicente knew he was only coming in for a half season. He was on a very minimum contract.
Yeah.
He was brought in to be more of a coach than a player, but they still wanted to see what he had. I think he knows that he can't give it his all. He knows he's only a 10 to 15-minute player at most. He knows that he wasn't really able to be good enough to do what he really wanted to do. So I think the Dynamo made the decision that Vicente probably could now at this point go down to RGV maybe and work with the players down there. Maybe he stays up here as more of a player-coach style during practices and is able to really mentor Tomas and mentor Kubo and continue mentoring Kyoto and Elise. I think we've seen, and I've said this before, we've seen the impact of Vicente Sanchez in how talented and how good Kyoto and Elise have been in such a short time in MLS. That only happens when you have a veteran who understands MLS, understands how to play in MLS, and understands the style your coach wants to play. And that is Vicente, and it had to be Vicente. So, I know a lot of people are like, well, that was a wasted contract, wasted roster slot. The way I view it, it was absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
It was the right move, and I applaud Matt Jordan, and I applaud Wilmer Cabrera for making it, because while it's not going to make waves and he's not going to be known as being a great Dynamo player, to me, he's one of the best people we've had on that pitch, whether he's playing or not.
He's helped bring energy into that team quite often, when they're down and about, and I do appreciate Vicente for that, and wow, now that you bring it up, we just noticed that he wasn't on the bench last night. It didn't even cross our mind because we were so focused around,
and remember,
Memo, and Joe Holland and these guys. So,
but let me throw this question to you. How do you feel about Joe Holland going forward? He's only gotten what I say 16 minutes total this year. What do you see on his end going forward? Do you see him eventually being a starter, or is that pretty much not going to happen now because you have Tomas Martinez?
I think that, the thing with Tomas is, right, if he comes in and lights it up, Joe Holland's going to be an afterthought as well. Pretty much the rest of your midfielders are.
Yeah.
I think Joe Holland can play a 6, can play an 8, which is, central midfielder or central D-mid. I think he can play that true central mid role. And depending on the formation, he's probably a better option long-term than Tomas because, again, Tomas is not going to give you the defending. So I think long-term, having both of them is advantageous. I think long-term, having Charlie Ward signed to a contract is advantageous because Charlie Ward is a hell of a distributor as a D-mid. And I think that Cabezas has definitely solidified his D-mid role there. So, I mean, you need enough depth that you can continue to play the same formation or switch formations at a moment's notice. And I think having Joe Holland in that kind of utility, central mid role is necessary. And I think he showed it last night. He has a lot of talent, and he impressed me. And I'm a guy who, when we drafted him, was like, Joe who? Like, I wasn't impressed by what I saw in the videos. I just didn't see much. It was kind of like, okay, he's an unproven kid. I'll give Wilmer the benefit of the doubt, but what the heck? There were better players, in my opinion, available. And I've seen him play with RGV. I've seen him play with Dynamo for a few minutes here and there. And I have to tell you that I'm impressed with what I've seen. And that's exactly what the coaching staff feels, as well, is that they're impressed with what they've seen out of Joe Holland so far. And that tells me if they're impressed with Joe Holland enough to do that, to be honest, that is what is kicking Alex out the door.
So then it really comes down to the question, who out of – I'm going to give you a list of these 3 guys. Boniak is making $250,000, right? You got Alex.
$237, I think, is what he's making.
Okay.
Close enough. Close enough.
247. You were very close. Yeah.
Alex, who's making 170, and there was a third one that I wanted to throw out there, and I totally forgot who it was. Out of those 2 guys, does one definitely move by the close of the summer transfer window?
By the close of the summer transfer window? Man, that's rough. I don't know yet.
Well, the
I'll
reason
have an answer for you come August.
The reason I throw Alex out there is, see, and this is where MLS is weird. The rest of the world is in their off season. You'd rather add a guy in your off season than in the middle of your season. And I think the one that offers the best for a team in this situation or in this time period is Alex. And I've heard rumors of Liga MX teams.
I don't think that's a question. I don't think that's a question because Alex is like 4 years younger than Boney.
Yeah. Also, on a quick note,
and we're talking, Boney's over 30, so he's not going to get a big contract anywhere. He's not going to get a big transfer fee.
Mm. Do you know how many, or the terms of his contract, how many years he signed for?
No, because they don't release that information, and you'll never get that information.
Yeah, it sucks.
Hashtag MLS.
I guess the only other guy is the 3rd highest paid on the team. Is Rico on this team next year?
Man, I want to say no, but I thought the same with Beasley at the beginning of this season. In the off season, I didn't think Beasley would be with the team this year, and they surprised me. I think they do the same thing they did with Beasley with Rico. If Rico's willing to stick, they're willing to renegotiate and bring him down. If they can bring him down, even maybe 2/3 of his salary, that's 100 and some odd thousand that's opened up for somebody else.
Yeah.
Now, keep in
I
mind,
see him
MLS veterans are guaranteed MLS veterans are guaranteed an increase every year. They're guaranteed a raise. So, renegotiating is kind of a requirement unless you want to pay the guy more money next year. And I don't want to pay Rico that amount of money for what he brings to the team.
Yeah.
Especially now that we're starting to see the leadership coming from Kubo, which, by the way, is phenomenal to see him pushing the team, being the spark, being fire, being out there and encouraging players. We're starting to see leadership from Elise and Kyoto when they're out there on the pitch. Both of them have a fire and a passion for this team, which is incredible. We're starting to see leadership from the back line, from Machado and Leonardo. We're seeing leadership in places that we haven't traditionally seen leadership come from. We've had our leadership guys, and that's been it. Now we've got leaders across the team. Mm-hmm. So Rico's leadership as that veteran player, I don't really think that's necessary anymore. And I feel like, if Rico were to go, if they couldn't negotiate his contract down to less than what he's making, then bye-bye Rico, I've got no problem with it.
Yeah.
I'm not a sentimental fan from a business standpoint. I look at it, what's best for the team is what's more important at this point.
We want to win.
And I just think that Rico I just think that if we were to keep Rico, he's not going to start next year. I can say that for sure. He will not
Absolutely.
start next year.
No, yeah,
There's
if he stays around, it'll be. I don't see him going anywhere. I definitely see him lowering his.
I think he's kind of like in the Beasley situation where he's going to be willing to take a lower offer, renegotiate.
I think
because
he's more of like a Brian.
His kids are here.
I think he's more like a Brian Ching almost. Like sit on the bench, play as a player coach. You know.
Yeah.
Still bring that
just
veteranship
like Vicente,
without
right?
having to.
Another Vicente.
Yeah, another Vicente Sanchez. Play that role. Because I mean, let's face it, man. The only place he wants to be is Houston. This is his team.
And
he's come out and said that.
I think you see Rico's age starting to show in the play last night where he got his yellow card.
Absolutely,
he was frustrated, and I understood that because he was the one who gave up the ball, gave up possession, and that's why he fouled. But at the same time, Rico has a reckless streak about him at times. When he loses the ball, he will do whatever it takes to make sure that he regains possession because he doesn't want to be the one to give up the goal, basically, essentially. Yeah. And you see it in how he plays. And I just don't think that's how this team needs to play right now. You look at Cabezas, who's usually behind him. Cabezas has it covered right now. And I feel like if we put another player in place of Rico, let's say that we do instead of a 4-2-1-3, we do a 4-1, 2-3 type of thing with two attacking midfielders. You can do that against some teams. My only concern about doing that is you're entrusting Cabezas to everything in the middle and wide. Because his backup's wide as the outside backs, and if they get burned, you're hurting. So, I prefer 2D mids in that situation, but I can see situations where a 4-1-2-3 makes sense, where you bring in two attacking midfielders, a Joe Holland right next to a Tomas, or maybe we see a situation where we see a Memo next to Tomas, or something like that, or even a Charlie Ward. Next to Tomas, because he can kind of play that same role. I think the thing we need to take away from this more than anything is that, Matt Jordan knows how to build a club. He knows how to build a team, and he knows how to do it well. He knows how to do it on a budget and with restrictions given to him by the ownership, because let's face it, there have been a lot of restrictions placed on him by the ownership. And so with him, with that being said, Matt Jordan has impressed the hell out of me, and I just feel like it's important to constantly give him kudos for what he's done so far, because a lot of people continue to be like, oh, it's just Matt Jordan, he's not that great. But let's face it, the moves he's made this offseason and this season so far have been gold.
Yeah.
Absolute gold. And he's done it on a very big budget. We talked a few weeks ago about the salary that Kyoto's making as a free transfer and what he's brought to the team. It's ridiculous. And if he continues down that path, I have no concerns over the Dynamo in the long term, because he knows what he's doing. He has a coach that understands what he's doing and that is going and working with him, side by side to get players that the coach wants, the coach finds. And Matt Jordan's best skill that he has is that he's a cap genius. He understands how to get players as inexpensive and as low a cap hit as possible. He understands MLS rules and regulations. He understands how to work the system. He knew that we weren't going to get anything out of the allocation order, and we were top of the order. So what did he do? He traded it away to get an international slot for next year, which we'll use on Tomas. And he used it for allocation money, which, hey, guess what? We're going to use that for Tomas. So, kudos, Matt Jordan. You're a genius. I'm glad you're our GM.
I know, right? it took us a little while to come aboard, but he is genius, and I'm definitely excited to see what is in store with Tomas Martinez and how he's going to fit into the system. It's going to be exciting. Hopefully, it goes in our favor. So, but Sean, we are going to go ahead and let you go, man. We appreciate you letting us call you and talk about this, man.
What are we on?
Definitely, guys. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
What, 3 weeks till he comes on?
I think
officially?
so. Something like that. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, we will see you soon.
Later, guys.
See you later, man. All right. So we can go ahead and get Carson on here, and we'll do our Down in the Valley. Then we'll do our. Then we'll go ahead and wrap it up, and you'll do your hoedown, and we'll go from there.
Did I not? I thought I saved his number.
Oh, you don't have his number?
No, I was forgetting which one it is. 330.
Yeah, it's got to be 330. Yeah, 330.
Okay. Yeah. So we are going to do a little bit of down in the valley. Do a real quick one of those.
RGB got the
Hoedown.
win. Yep.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up, Carson?
Hey, Carson, what's up, man? Sorry it took us so long.
No, Sean was. I don't always agree with everything somebody says, but I think I was 98% with what Sean was saying.
Yeah, Sean has some good tips in there. So, man, yeah. So let's hear. RGV got a win, correct?
RGV, they did get a win. Yeah, they won nothing. It wasn't a very exciting win, but
Hey, a win's a win when
comparatively
it
to
comes to
the
the standings.
6-2 defeat to Sacramento, it was beautiful.
Edson says, what's up?
Edson is the man, and I have to say this: he made first off, he got a new job. So shout out to Edson.
Yes.
Secondly, he made a new graphic for Charlie Ward, and it doesn't creep me out like the Birdman picture. So shout out to Edson.
We were talking about I was showing Eric, or not Eric. I was showing Justin that earlier. The Clockwork Charlie.
Yeah, and I will say this, and I know Edson will give me credit. I actually came up with that nickname. So
Nice,
it came up
very
last
nice.
year, and yeah, here we are. Yeah, I mean the dude played every minute of the season, and also like
Wow.
clockwork, he was consistent. So yeah. It kind of came together.
Absolutely, that is awesome, man. So we got Clockwork Charlie and Birdman.
I'm excited he signed that picture. The fact that he signed that picture makes it a lot less creepy.
We
Well,
also
we-
gave him one too.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he might have been creeped out as well,
Yeah.
so we don't know what happened to said poster once we gave it to him, but at least we gave it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he might have been creeped out, but he's a good dude, and I think he appreciated the picture originally. So I think he was probably enjoyed it more than he was creeped out. And you
Well-
guys haven't got any restraining orders or anything yet, so
Yeah.
should be
Well,
good.
you're the inside guy. Next time you talk to the team, you need to make it a point to ask that
Yeah.
question on
See if
the
you like the
status.
picture, I'll ask him if he like signing the picture, and because it's technically it's him, so I feel like he's like maybe going through some inner turmoil when he sees that picture. He's like, I'm kind of creeped out, but it's kind of me, so.
He's like, no, secretly, he's like, how did they know I was actually Birdman? He's like, got the
They're right.
costume.
He has
in
like
his-
that. He has the costume hanging up, and yeah, I can see that.
That is awesome. Well, where does this put them in standings now, and what's next for RGV?
They moved up, which was good. Yeah, and Colorado was pretty hot when they played them, so they're above the red line now. They play Swope Park on Saturday, and that is the Sporting KC USL team. They got some exciting young players. Whether you're going to tune in for the Toro or just to enjoy a good soccer match, you're going to see some non-self doubles. A teenager for Swope Park was unreal, but yeah, it's going to be a fun match. They're always exciting matches with those two, but we're moving up. I think anytime you're moving up and not down is a good thing.
Yeah, they are above the red line, correct? They're occupying that last playoff
Yeah,
spot.
above the red line.
Very good, very good. We'll take that, and hopefully they build on this win. I know that
Yeah,
they got the penalty kick.
I don't know how I didn't open up with the shout out to Memo for the goal last night. That was
Yeah,
that
man,
was-
yeah.
That was pretty.
Yeah, Memo Rodriguez scoring his first ever MLS goal last night for the Houston Dynamo in a Houston Dynamo jersey. So we are very, very happy to see that. And Memo was
Yeah,
a bright
I was
future.
excited. I know he was excited. I talked to him a little bit yesterday after the match, but and then it was cool to see guys from all the way back in Charleston that he was able to play with, and they were all pretty excited for him. So it's a good thing. Obviously, Dynamo Academy up through USL, both USL affiliates, and then up to Houston. He's doing his thing with the time he's getting, that's for sure.
Yeah, he is.
Very nice, very nice.
He's looked extremely well.
So I know that you said that you're in Ohio right now, right?
Yeah, I'm back in Ohio for the week, back to my native state. I was at Cedar Point, the best amusement park in the world.
I went there a
By some
long time
experts,
ago.
and I consider myself an expert with that as well. But yeah, I was there all day today, having a good time, and it's not 115 like Vegas, so I can't say I'm mad about it.
My dumbass went for a run today, and the heat index was like 110.
Yeah, you look like you got a little sunburn on your face there too, buddy.
Yeah.
The thing I can't believe is in Ohio when I walk outside at 8 or 9 in the morning. I know it's the same thing in Houston. In Ohio, it's like 65. It's nice. There's dew on the ground. In Vegas, you walk outside at 8 in the morning. It's already like 102, and it feels like a blow dryer hit you in the face. So I'll take it.
Well, good, man. Well, we appreciate you giving us Down in the Valley. When did you said? Oh yeah, you already told us. Swope Park Rangers.
Yep.
Next one. So,
yep. Swope Park on Saturday. And since the Dynamo are off for the Gold Cup, but any matches that aren't for the Gold Cup, feel free. Tune into the Toros. Like you said, maybe we'll get a few more of the Dynamo guys down. Obviously, to keep them match ready. Maybe Joe Holland, Charlie might come down, but
hey, might as well.
Hopefully some of those guys go down.
Yeah, Tomas
no
Martinez. That'd be awesome. Yeah. So where can they find you?
Yeah, I had Carson Hamer on Twitter, Down in the Valley. It came out, or not that. Now you guys got me confused. So the Bull and the Torns, my article came out yesterday. Today is Thursday, a special Thursday edition with you guys. But so that's out. I'll probably try to get something written up with Charlie Ward about signing up with the first team. I know he was pretty stoked, and he played for Stoke City, so that's a little fun too. But I know he's pretty excited, so I'll try to get something written in there. And, the more Toros guys go up to the Dynamo, the better for the Dynamo, the worse for the Toros. But,
hey,
that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, well, there you go, man. Well, we will not have a show next week, so we will follow up with you the following week and get another segment from you, okay?
I have no idea what I'll do next week without you guys, but I look forward to doing it.
We appreciate it, Carson, as always. Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right.
Yep. There you have it, Down in the Valley. Yeah. Down in the Valley.
Real quick before I get into the hoedown, we'll keep it Houston related.
Yep.
The Dash, who have actually, we'll cover the Dash a little bit, who've actually kind of turned things around as of late. Getting their first win in what seemed like forever. It was their, did I say that right? Third win of the year.
Fourth.
No, this was third. This one here. Third, which was
Orlando
June 24th
Pride,
over the Orlando Pride. I think one of their first road wins of the year. They did draw in the doubleheader to the Boston Breakers on the 28th, but they did travel up to KC and beat KC 2-1, which is big for them. I'm not sure if it gets them out of the basement. I need to go to NWSL's thing. But yeah, they will be taking on the Portland Thorns FC, which is definitely going to be a rough one for them. They're probably one of the strongest teams in the NWSL. They'll take them on July 8th this week. That will be on the Go 90 app. I can't say I'm excited, but I do want to see the Dash do well. It's kind of depressing.
It's ever since Carly Lloyd came back. It seems like team's starting to win some games again. Does it really take one player to change an entire team like that? Apparently so. She's bringing a lot of leadership.
Yeah. Portland Thorns are sitting in 5th place. They got 5 wins, 4 losses, 3 draws. Where did I see? 18 points. The Dash did move out of the basement to 7th place with these last 3 matches. 4 wins now, 7 losses, 1 draw, 13 points. So,
still the most losses in the league. If they do get that win, they will jump above Orlando Pride.
Yeah.
And they'll only be sitting a couple points back behind Portland Thorns. So, and I think Orlando Pride, how many make it to the playoffs? Is it the top 4? The top
something like
6?
that. Honestly,
4.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't know enough about NWSL.
But real quick, let's jump into the Houston Hoedown. It's been huge, especially for the Dutch Lions. They have 1 match remaining. They are currently 6-1-2 after the match they've had this weekend. They beat the Shreveport Raptors 2-1 with goals coming from Jose Pablo Covarrubias. I always say his name wrong, so I'm just going to say to Jose Pablo.
Yeah.
He got one, and then Archie Masson got one as well. Jose Pablo's name always comes up on the Dutch Lions score sheet. But with that, they are still in first place in the Lone Star Conference, like I said, with a record of 6-1-2 and 20 points. And they got one more match left to play, and that is in Shreveport this weekend up at Mesmer Stadium up in Shreveport. I've been to Shreveport. It's a garbage city. I know I say this every time, but it's a garbage city. Houston Regals, unfortunately, though, They did lose 2-1 to the Fort Worth Vaqueros, who have locked up playoff position for them. They have one more match left to play against Fort Worth Vaqueros up in Fort Worth with a record of 2-5-2 and 8 points. Tough road for them this year. They've had some looks where they could have been a decent team, and it just didn't come through at the end. Also, while we're on this, Houston FC is tied 1-1 at this current moment. Brazos Valley Cavalry, who's actually turned things around as of late. They took on FC Cleburne last Wednesday with goals. It was all Brazos Valley with goals coming from Robert Hernandez, Matt Dorsey, Christian Molina, and Ozumba. 4-1 in favor of the Cavalry over FC Cleburne. Excuse me. And then they traveled down to Houston, which was more the same for them. They had 3-1, with goals coming from Ozumba again, Williams, and Robert Hernandez as well. They currently sit third in the Mid-South Division of the USLPDL with a record of 6-5-1 and 19 points. Their next match, they got 2 coming up. They got the one tonight against actually, they had one Tuesday, and I don't have the stats for that, which was against FC Cleburne. That will be in next week's hoedown. And then Saturday, they will play Mississippi Brillia FC at home, which is close to their end of the season. I think they might have 1 or 2 more after that. Houston FC did lose to Brazos Valley. We already went over that. They have a match tonight, which is going on right now against Mississippi. If they can pull a win out of them, they'll be good, because Mississippi's had their number all year. And then Saturday, they will be taking on Texas United at Clay Stadium here in Houston. The Houston Aces of the UWS turned things around as of lately. They were looking to grab their second straight win over Real Salt Lake women Saturday night, which they did. Things did get a little hairy. They jumped out to a 3-0 lead, choked it up at the end, and Houston came back and scored the game winner to win 4-3 over Salt Lake. Tatiana Azira had scored twice. Mariana Diaz-Leal scored. Tatiana's sister, Natalie Ariza, scored in the 29th minute. They currently sit 4th right now in the West of the UWS with a record of 2-3-1. With 7 points and 3 matches left to play. They will take on the Calgary Foothills in Calgary, Canada, next week. The Houston Aces have dropped, let's see, they lost to, no, never mind, I read that wrong. They did lose to the TTI Blue Bonnets. They drew to the TTI Blue Bonnets 2-2, June 8th, July 1st. They did lose the Lone Star SC 3-1, and then they won against FC Austin Elite on the 2nd. They finish out their season with a record of 2-8-2 and 8 points. Remember, always support your local soccer. Currently, it's almost halftime in the SKC Philly match, and it's 0-0. So, another thing I know Josh and I wanted to go over real quick, although it doesn't hold too much water, can we just say how pissed off I am about the FIFA rankings? The U.S. ended up dropping 12 spots. 12 spots. And trust me, they did not do enough to lose 12 spots in the rankings.
Nobody cares about the FIFA rankings. It doesn't mean a damn thing.
Either way, they dropped down to 35th. Hopefully after the Gold Cup, they'll bounce back up a little bit. But there's some teams in here that got a huge boost, like Congo moved up 11 spots, which doesn't really make any sense. But that is what it is.
I mean, if you go and read like how they break it down, it's the most idiotic thing ever. It's like how they earn the points.
Yeah.
It's like it
Gold Cup is starting on the 7th. I'm excited tomorrow. Tomorrow's 7th.
Yeah. I want to see this French guinea pig. French
Guyana.
French
they'll be taking on Canada tomorrow.
I want to see them play.
Probably one of the best matches in all the group stages is tomorrow night, 8 o'clock our time. Honduras and Costa Rica. I'm actually excited about that. Then Saturday,
this is going to be the most competitive match in our group.
Yes,
against
U.S.
Panama.
and Panama, and then you got Martinique and Nicaragua, 6 o'clock. That will be hosted in Tennessee at the Titan Stadium, actually.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, come out to Lucky's Pub down by the soccer stadium. AO will be hosting their watch party down there. It will be, I think, starts at, I'm time's the game start?
Games at
Watch
3:30,
party
yeah.
like officially starts at 3. Match starts at 3:30. Definitely come out, half off appetizers. They got a really good beer selection. The bartenders are pretty legit. The food's pretty good. If you haven't had their chips and queso, you're wrong.
Only if you wear American gear, though.
Yeah, if you get caught wearing Panamanian gear, GTFO.
Same with Mexico. If you get in there, Mexico.
Well,
like,
they won't let you back into the watch party with Mexican stuff now.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. It's about time.
But definitely come out. We'll have some kind of merch out there. Check in with the president. Her name is Megan, also my girlfriend.
Just gonna throw that out there, bro.
Yeah. I was gonna try to get her on, but that's like pulling teeth. I love you, Megan. But that's gonna do it for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can find us. Follow like our Facebook page, the Peel 2005. Follow us on Twitter, the Peel 05. Like our friends,
Yeah.
Dynamo Theory. Follow them on Twitter.
Yep.
Go to the website dynamotheory.com.
Yep.
Where you can find the Houston Hoedown and the show.
And the Bull on its Horns.
And the Bull and the Torrens from Carson. A lot of good stuff on Dynamo Theory. We did not film at 8th Wonder today. We will be back there again not until next week. We're going to take a week off.
Yes.
The following week, we'll be back on our normal schedule Tuesday before we eventually switch over to KTXF. Sean will be joining us. That's going to happen sometime in August.
I'm looking at a August 2nd.
August 2nd.
Airing of the Peel on KTXF.
Yes, less than a month. So, yeah, we got to get some new headsets.
Hey, if anybody has a small business and wants to sponsor,
yeah, absolutely.
Send us an email.
Yeah, absolutely. we will definitely be promoting you guys. That'll be awesome. Yeah, you can email us, thepeel2005@gmail.com.
Yep.
So we probably won't be taking phone calls at the start. We'll get all that stuff worked out.
Yeah.
But
definitely jump on our YouTube because we're still going to be doing YouTube. Definitely jump on that because it's a lot easier for us to get your questions on the show right then and there because there tends to be a delay.
And you can see our show is going to an hour and a half. Our show will be extended for about 2 hours long. So
yeah,
you'll probably you'll probably see a little bit of us extending our shows from here on out just to kind of get into that format. So, all right, guys, we appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah. What are you drinking on? Same thing I am.
Yeah, same thing as you were. I was actually I did have this one earlier though. Yingling, traditional lager.
That's from my neck of the woods. It's making its way here. It is in Louisiana, and from what I heard, by the end of the summer or beginning of 2018, Yingling should be in Texas.
This is probably my favorite amber that I've ever had, besides my girlfriend, of course.
It's America's oldest brewery.
Yeah. This is absolutely this is absolutely delicious beer.
Well, what are you drinking now?
What I am drinking now is Summer Rental.
The Radler.
The Radler. It's a
Flying Dog.
Okay, that's the name of the brewery. Okay.
Frederick, Maryland, which is not too far from where I grew up. Had a couple friends that would go back and forth from there growing up. But it's good. It's a really good summer beer. A little bit of passion fruit flavor with grapefruit. It's good.
We are drinking a lot of Philly beers right now because I know that you're.
Yeah, my girlfriend came back.
Yeah,
she brought me back the 120 IPA from Dogfish Head, and I had about one of those, and I was ready for bed because it's 18% alcohol. So, but that is going to do it for the Peel.
Guys, checking out. We'll see y'all in a couple weeks. Go USA.
Go USA and
Forever Orange.
Yeah, Forever Orange.